Will the Committee on Executive Matters and Legal Affairs please come to order? It's 1:05 p.m. I'd like to welcome committee members Tupola, Se, Kia'aina, Wire, Okimoto, and Tolba. Council members Cordero as well as Chair Waters are excused from today's meeting. Before we start, I have some procedural announcements to make. Pursuant to Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony remotely or in person in the council chamber on all items on the agenda when each item is taken up. All persons who registered to testify in person will be called upon first, followed by those who registered to testify remotely. Before testifying, each person shall state their name. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 1-minute presentation on each item. For remote testifiers, when your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. All registered testifiers will be called upon first. Then I'll give persons who have not registered an opportunity to speak following the oral testimonies of the registered speakers. Please utilize the raise hand feature in Zoom to be called upon. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by a roll call unless unanimous. Therefore, if any objections are noted, I will call for a roll call vote. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. And as a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of this meeting. We'll begin with agenda item number 1, which is Bill 32, which makes revisions to the city's non-discrimination policy applicable to employment and the provision of services. Members, we do have a posted proposed CD1 on the agenda that I submitted, and the summary of the amendments is also on the agenda. We have with us Denise Sukiyama, the Equal Opportunity Administrator from the Department of Human Resources. Aloha.
Aloha, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to be here. My name is Denise Sukiyama. I'm the Equal Opportunity Administrator for the City and County of Honolulu. I'm here to just support Bill 32 and the proposed CD1. The bill and its CD1 confirm the city's policy of non-discrimination in employment and in the provision of programs and services. I'm available if you have any questions.
Members, any questions for the director? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Director. Clerks, do we have any in-person registered testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, and then clerks, do we have any remote testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, there being none, members, any discussion before I make my recommendation? I'd also like to welcome Councilmember Cordero to the chambers. Okay, the chair recommends that Bill 32 of 2024 be amended to the posted CD1 identified as OCS 2024-0727 submitted by myself. Any discussion or objections? Any reservations? Hearing none, the bill has been amended to a CD1. The chair then recommends that Bill 32 of 2024 CD1 be reported out for passage on second reading and scheduling of a public hearing. Any discussion, objections, or reservations? Okay, hearing none, so ordered. We move on to agenda item number 2. Resolution 24-229 accepts a gift of conference registration and lodging to the city valued at $4,263.94 from the Hawaii Executive Collaborative for the mayor and managing director to attend the Hawaii Executive Conference on the island of Hawaii, October 2nd through 5th, 2024. We have with us the deputy managing director, I believe, or not. Do we have a representative from the administration on this item? Okay, seeing none, why don't we go to testimony? Clerks, do we have any registered in-person or remote testifiers?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, and then is there anyone standing by remotely to testify?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, members, seeing as we don't have a representative from the administration on this topic, is there any discussion or questions about this gift resolution? Okay, seeing none. The chair recommends a resolution 24-229 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, objections, or reservations? Okay, hearing none, so ordered. Agenda item number 3. This is resolution 24-212, which confirms the appointment of Hazel Beck to serve on the Civil Service Commission of the City and County of Honolulu for a term to expire on June 30th, 2027. And we have Ms. Beck here. Aloha, and thanks for your willingness to serve.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you to the committee for the opportunity to come before you today, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on my background or my experience. Reason I'm looking forward to serving is I appreciate the work that the Blangiardi administration has been doing. Excited to see that there are 4 more years, and I also thank all of you on the council for the work that you do, and I just would like to get back to my community and be part of the team. Thank you.
Members, any questions? Vice Chair Kiaina.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Ms. Beck. Can I ask, did you seek this appointment, or did the administration flag this appointment for you?
Actually, this was a referral from a friend who became aware of a vacancy on the commission.
A referral by a friend to you to
yes.
apply?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking, of course, I appreciate anyone who's looking to serve, but just looking at your background, all of your background is either with SBA, living here on Oahu, and Kailua Kona. Is that correct? Do you have demonstrated experience of working in the community here on Oahu, separate from your SBA role?
Here, I've been on Oahu for 3 years. I lived on Big Island for 8 years. I was very heavily involved in Kailua Kona and served on the Committee for the Status of Women and Girls, served on multiple boards, served on a local school board. I haven't had the chance here on Oahu, and this is my chance. I just completed a master in public administration, so I've been a little busy.
No, I appreciate it. It's just that it would be, for me, it would behoove the administration to look for people. This is Oahu, and it would be behoove them to look for people with demonstrated experience here on Oahu. My other question, again, I don't doubt that your desire to serve, so I don't have a problem. I just want to make mention of it because I do believe part of the job of the administration is to look for candidates. We are always looking to build capacity within communities, and it would be good for them to look for qualified candidates here on Oahu who has demonstrated experience in our communities. My second question is, given your background that you're the Deputy Director for SBA, is that going to conflict with regard to scheduling, with regard to any of the commission meetings? I don't even know how often the commission meets. How often do they meet?
It's my understanding the commission meets monthly, and I've already had 3 meetings with the SBA District Council for Region 9 to make sure that nothing that I would be doing on the Civil Service Commission would conflict. And back to your original question, as Deputy District Director, I'm heavily involved in outreach across the entire state of Hawaii and Guam as well. So I have done a lot of service to small business community in the 3 years I've been in here, and I've been everywhere. So
I'm quite familiar with the region.
Really excited.
And I do appreciate that. I still don't believe that that makes up for demonstrated community experience separate from your federal hat. It's only a comment I wanted to make, but I look forward to having you on board.
Thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair.
Followed by Wire, and then Tupola.
Aloha, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I had a similar question. I did look at your resume and saw your past experience, and I was just wondering if you had any prior or previous experience, or what is your experience with advocating and working with civil service workers?
I don't have any experience advocating and working with civil service workers, as our district office is a non-bargaining unit. But I do have experience managing, hiring, motivating, leading employees, and I have HR experience around that. So that's what brought me or drew me to this position. And
along the same lines, what are your plans if appointed to the commission with this experience? I'm trying to figure out where you would fit in, what you would do, what value, or not, I shouldn't say value, but what you hope to accomplish while on the commission for the civil service workers.
What I hope to accomplish, I hope to be able to bring my experience and my skills and my passion for small business and my community that I live in to bear on my service as a commissioner.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you.
Okay, Councilmember Wire and then Tupola.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha, Ms. Beck. Thank you for being here and for your willingness to serve. Yes, I mean, similarly, I've been looking at your resume. I'm extremely impressed and grateful that you're willing to step up and serve our community. Could you maybe walk through just kind of some of what your past community professional affiliations, that section of your resume? You have a lot of great organizations there, so I'm just kind of curious what that work entails, if there's any stories or experiences or even just overviews of what roles you've taken on.
Well, I have, as you can see, I've served in a variety of capacities, and I think I appreciated the most the appointment by Billy Kanoy to serve on the Committee on the Status of Women and Girls. We did a lot of interesting events for Women's History Month. We would stand on street corners in Waimea with payday candy bars for equal pay for equal work. So we did a lot of creative and interesting things, and I really enjoyed working with Billy. I've also belonged to various veterans organizations. I myself am a Navy veteran, and so I have a passion for making sure that veterans who want to become entrepreneurs get a fair shot at that. I've also served, as I said, on a private school board for a number of years. I held a number of positions at the Kona Executives Association in Kona, and also was a co-founder of the Hilo Bay Executives Association. So, you know, a lot of business networking committees and the status committee for women, and I've just enjoyed working. I counted up one time in 2015 I was on 7 boards. So I was a little overzealous.
Oh, I appreciate that. Appreciate your service. Could you tell me a little bit, what is the Native America Veterans Association?
The NAVA is based in Los Angeles, and it is open to all, but the focus is tribal, and they meet on Saturdays virtually once a month, and they have a guest speaker. I've been a guest speaker a couple times for them, and it's a talking circle. So it's very, it's probably attended by 20, 25, and they're all veterans. Tribal veterans, and they just share on the topic, honor the speaker, open with a prayer. It's just a great get together. It's about an hour and a half.
Awesome. No, I love that. And then what was the slaughter unit task force?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. So there were 3 of us that started. We were approached by the Resource Conservation District and questioned. I worked at the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center at the time, and they asked if we could help explore bringing a mobile slaughter unit to Big Island, because we only had 2 slaughter units there, 2 big slaughterhouses, and those were mostly taken up by the cattle. So we had people that had goats and sheep and pigs and no place to go to have those slaughtered, small family ranchers. So I'm almost a vegetarian, but I became the slaughterhouse queen and worked with the Kohala Center and worked with USDA, worked with the Hawaii Department of Ag, and we were actually able to obtain a 36-foot mobile slaughter unit for the Big Island. To the best of my knowledge, it's still there. It was delivered in January of 2017, but I started working on that in 2012. But it is absolutely amazing, and the only bottleneck that I see with it is you have to have a USDA inspector on board during operation if you want to sell the meat like to KTA or in the market. But if anybody has any questions about mobile slaughter units, I'm happy to answer them.
No, appreciate that. Yeah, and like I said, I appreciate the breadth of your experience, you know, from ag to, you know, and also the diversity of communities you've worked with, from veterans to women, yes, to tribal communities.
Yes.
I think that would be quite a benefit to the city. So thank you again for your willingness to serve.
Thank you.
Mahalo,
Thank
Chair.
you.
Thank you. Councilmember Tupola.
Thank you so much, Chair. Aloha, Ms. Beck. Thank you for being here. And I thank my colleagues for their expanding questions on some of your background. I also thought your background was kind of more fit for some of our Office of Economic Revitalization committees where we really need to kind of stimulate business and entrepreneurship. And I just love the SBA. I just got to say they help with a lot of small business stuff in my community that I'm ever so grateful for. My concern is, your knowledge of civil service, of which it seems like you already have a good idea of how to know nothing, jump in, and then learn it, right?
Yes.
But my question is, what do you think are the two major hurdles or challenges that we have with civil service in the city?
I think the first challenge is just finding people. And I'm hearing this across every industry, just being able to find people to fill the positions. I've heard the mayor speak at town halls. There's a number of positions that are open, and I know that some of the positions are civil service and some are non-civil service. So I think just finding people to fill those positions. And then I think in civil service, it's very similar to what we're doing at the federal government. So there's a lot to navigate in terms of SOPs, policies, and procedures, and I think, information and awareness, education for the employees so that they understand, where the guardrails are so that they can do the best work that they can. I think that might be a challenge.
So finding people, what do you think the second one is? What do you think our second challenge is?
The second one, it would be helping them understand the SOPs, the policies, and the procedures that are around their job that they've just taken, and helping them be the best that they can be at that job.
So maybe retention, keeping them on board.
Yep.
One of the things the commission does, which I hope that you can delve into, is definitely the classification or reclassification of positions, and in order for us to better fill it. So it might be the wrong salary scale. It might be that this skill set is asking for this, but the pay doesn't match, or maybe this position hasn't been filled for 14 years and we need to do away with the clerk position and start with a managerial position for the entry level. So I do think recruitment and finding people is one thing. I think each of the departments has their kind of strategies, but seeing as though you've been on different commissions, for me, I just wanted to kind of highlight that for you. And if you could look into that and, definitely give some suggestions, because when we come around to the budget season next year, we're hoping that a lot of people have thought through that so that we're not, as council members trying to figure out why these can't get filled. And we can't attribute everything to we can't find people. We have to make changes internally so that no matter what people are out there that are ready to work, that we can configure what we're offering to fill that. I mean, we have thousands of vacancies. So we're grateful for your willingness to serve, and I'm very grateful for your diverse background.
Well, thank you for the recommendation as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Councilmember Say.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Beck. I have a couple of questions following up with what Councilwoman Tupola just stated.
I apologize.
Oh, you
I'm
can't hear
having
me.
a hearing issue.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much for your service that you're trying to provide to the city and county of Honolulu. And following up with some of the questions of Councilwoman Tupola, I would hope that you would lead the charge in going to the legislature to look at amending measures that are presently on the books. The Hawaii Revised Statutes, Chapter 76, 77, which is our civil service law, right? This commission is made up for the merit system that we have in place today. And that's why, thinking out of the box, what everyone has said is true. This is my 4th year, and it's been a very difficult journey in trying to shore up categories of position counts that we can't find qualified people. Chapter 89, the collective bargaining issue also that you have to deal with as part of the Civil Service Commission. Be aware that you want to go in, do the best that you can, but for my personal beliefs, I failed this past 4 years in trying to address civil service reform on behalf of the City and County of Honolulu and its employees and future employees. So what would be your number one objective once you're in, and what do you like to accomplish? Understanding this is a merit system. Your hands, my hands are tied with the laws that are on the state books. And that's the kind of discussion we need to find out what will the commission be moving forward to. Because it is a critical point in time that Hawaii is becoming a silver community, our younger generation are leaving the state, and then we don't have the position counts for providing the services that we were all elected to provide. So I bring this up just as a thought, Hazel, that move by the horn and move forward and see what can be accomplished with everyone here supporting your cause when you go to the state legislature to address civil service reform. It is standardized with all 4 counties also now. You can't have a HGA employee different from another county, HGA and Hawaii County. Salary range would be the same, MQs would be the same. So all of this I just share with you because it is a thankless task that you have ahead of you. So in closing, I just wanted to say thank you very much for picking up that challenge and moving forward. Thank you.
I appreciate all of your comments, and I intend to listen to everyone who has any suggestions for me. During the interview process, I was told they are not looking for a wallflower, and I assured them they were not looking at a wallflower. So I am excited to do what I can to move this forward and work on reclassifications. I understand the merit system. We also are on that on the federal side as well. But it does bring its own challenges, but I'm up for it.
Okay, thank you. Members, any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you, Ms. Beck. We'll open it up to public testimony at this time. Clerks, do we have any in-person testifiers or anyone remotely either registered or standing by?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, there being none, members, any discussion? Okay, seeing none, the chair recommends that Resolution 24-212 be reported out for adoption. Any discussion, objections, or reservations? Hearing none, so ordered. Members, before we go on to agenda item number 4, yeah, thank you. I'm going to go back to Bill 32, which is agenda item number 1. The script said second reading, and it's actually being reported out for third reading. So is there any objection to reconsidering the recommendation and instead recommending that Bill 32 of 2024 CD1 be reported out for passage on third reading? Any discussion, objections, or reservations? Okay, hearing none, so ordered, and thank you for catching that. All right, we'll resume our agenda with agenda item number 4. This is Resolution 24-171, which confirms the appointment of Jeffrey Portnoy to serve on the Civil Service Commission of the City and County of Honolulu for a term to expire on June 30th of 2026. I don't think we have Mr. Portnoy here, but do you have anyone from the administration present? Okay, seeing none. Clerks, do we have any registered testifiers for this item?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, and then clerks, do we have any remote testifiers or anyone standing by to testify on this item?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Committee Vice Chair Cordero.
So but then should we just put this on hold until we have either the admin or the appointee before your committee?
Yeah, members, what is your
Chair?
preference?
You know, normally I would, but if you look at his background, he has an outstanding background, both professionally as well as demonstrated community experience. And I just think, I don't know why the administration is not here, but, you know, he probably was busy at work. And so I have no problem with moving him forward.
Councilmember Wire.
Yeah, I mean, I would defer to Chair, Vice Chair, if you folks talked to him already or satisfied with, you know, his contributions and what he'd bring, then I'll defer and would support the Chair's recommendation.
Yeah. Chair Waters.
Thank you so much. I've known Jeff Portnoy for years, served with him on a commission myself. He's fully qualified, and I have no problem going forward today.
Yeah. Okay. Members, any other discussion? Members, I feel the same way. I've had the chance to speak with Mr. Portnoy, and I've known him for a few years, and he, of course, has a sterling resume and is an integral part of our legal community here. I have no doubt that he would be an excellent commissioner on the Civil Service Commission. So I'm comfortable moving this forward. The public, does have the opportunity to weigh in, or they did have the opportunity now, and they'll have the opportunity again when this goes to full council. So members, any further discussion? Okay, the chair recommends a resolution. Councilmember Cordero.
Thanks. I know that all of the members get the designated speakers for our committees for committee week, so it would be great to just have the designated speakers here at our committees. Thank you.
Agreed. Chair recommends a resolution. Any other discussion? Okay. Chair recommends that resolution 24-171 be reported out for adoption. Any final discussion, objections, or reservations? Okay. Hearing none, so ordered. Members, we're going to move on now to executive session. The following items as posted in the agenda have been referred to executive session. I'll read the items individually to allow for oral public testimony on each item. Agenda item number 5 is a request for authorization to settle a case against the City and County of Honolulu entitled Department of Health, State of Hawaii, Clean Water Branch versus City and County of Honolulu, NPDES permit number HI 0021296 for the Kailua Regional Wastewater Treatment Plant, docket number 23 CWEO20. Clerks, do we have any in-person or remote registered testifiers or anyone standing by to testify on this item?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Agenda item number 6 is a request for authorization to settle a case against the City and County of Honolulu entitled L. Lindsay Myeni versus City and County of Honolulu et al. Civil number 1CCV-21-00000504, Circuit Court. Clerks, do we have any in-person testifiers registered or standing by, or anyone remotely registered or standing by to testify?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, there being none. Agenda item number 7 is resolution to request additional funds for contract number SC-COR-240089 to continue the services of Kobayashi, Sugita, and Goda, LLP, a special deputy corporation counsel to represent defendants, Honolulu Liquor Commission, Jacob Fears, Glen Nishigata, and Catherine Fontaine in a legal action entitled Jhumar Waite versus Honolulu Liquor Commission et al., civil number CV23-00356 JAORT, USDC. Clerks, do we have any in-person registered or standing by testifiers, or anyone remotely registered or standing by to testify?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, request for authorization to settle a case against the City and County of Honolulu entitled Huntington et al. Versus City and County of Honolulu et al. Civil number 1CCV-23-0000709 SMK, Circuit Court. Clerks, do we have any in-person registered or standing by testifiers, or any remote registered or remote standing by testifiers for this item?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. There being none, we'll move on to agenda item number 9, request for authorization to settle claim against the City and County of Honolulu for attorney's fees, and costs in Nelson et al. Versus City and County of Honolulu, case number 124-CV-00100-MWJS-RT, U.S. District Court. Clerks, do we have any in-person registered testifiers for this item? Anyone standing by in person, anyone remotely registered, or anyone standing by remotely to testify?
Chair, there are none.
Okay, there being none, testimony is closed.
Chair.
Yes.
Sorry, I do believe that Chief Logan and Deputy Chief Vanek are here.
Yes.
Are they going to address us now, or in executive session, or after?
I think in executive session, I'd like to ask them to stick around for executive session because their position affects our powers, duties, privileges, and immunities.
But
why
would it be an executive session as opposed to be in public?
Well, maybe we'll ask Dwayne, who may have some insight.
Yeah, the executive session is only for those who are needed for the executive session with respect to the legal advice. There's no problem with the chief and deputy chief testifying currently, and or after the executive session, after you're briefed by the attorneys, you can ask the chief additional questions after the executive session. That would be my recommendation.
Okay. Members, Councilmember Wire.
Sorry, Chair, I didn't mean to.
No. Well, in that case, perhaps it's better if they testify up front and they can get back to their duties.
That's fine, but after the presentation, you still may have additional questions. I'm just suggesting that.
Okay. Well, why don't we have them testify now, and if either Chief Logan or Assistant Chief Anna can stick around, We'll also take up the Myeni case first in executive session, just to allow them to get back to their duties. So why don't we have either Chief Logan or Assistant Chief Vanek testify on the Myeni item.
Aloha, good afternoon. Executive Matters and Legal Affairs Committee, thank you so much, Chair Dos Santos-Tam, I appreciate it. You know, as a chief of the Honolulu Police Department, I absolutely respect the roles and responsibilities of Corporation Counsel and what they do for the city and county of Honolulu. And I respect Emla and what you do and the decisions you have to make in their guidance and what they put forth as far as what happens in a case and how that case is decided or settled, and then asking for your concurrence or non-concurrence in that. And I strongly ask for your non-concurrence in this matter at the end of their executive session meeting with you. You know, the Honolulu Police Department, I could not be prouder of the men and women, the 2,100 men and women that serve the Honolulu Police Department every day. You know, our officers run into danger when everyone else is leaving danger. And that is what is just inherent in who they are as people and what they do. And then on the night of this incident and this case, they ran into danger, which they did not expect. They went on a call for service. They responded. They spoke with the reporting person, and then chaos ensued from that point on. Unfortunately, a life was lost that evening, but our officers, in our minds of the Honolulu Police Department, I support everything and their actions in what happened. And I firmly believe that they were right in all their actions, as was evident by the investigation by the prosecuting attorney's office that held that justifiable actions were taken and no charges were against the officers of that evening. And so in that, I ask you to weigh your, as you go through your decision-making process, weigh the actions of our officers and the men and women of the Honolulu Police Department, especially in this time right now. We have a lot of challenges going on within the District 8 and Waianae and Nanakuli area, all the things that our officers are doing out there every day to keep you all safe. This is not a time to say, hey, our officers may or may not have done something wrong. That's absolutely inappropriate to say that in this instance. And so I ask that you strongly look at what is presented, but more importantly, look at our officers, the actions they took. As citizens, how would you react in this situation? And then come to the same conclusion that I have, and that you non-concur with the settlement of this case. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions at this time? Councilmember Wire.
Just a quick question, Chair, and thank you, Chief. I just wonder if you could tell me a little bit more about that, the statement when you're saying, of course, wanting to put forward the message that the officers didn't do anything wrong. In your mind, can you share a little bit about how settlement would signal that? Is there a concern that the media would frame it as that, or the officers would feel that that's what the understanding is, or just wanted to clarify? So I think
when you settle a case such as this, I think the community by and large supports what Honolulu, that happened. We all watched in the media what happened that night, whether body-worn camera or media, what Prosecutor Alm reported on his press conferences, and what occurred that evening, right? And so based off of that, I think the community is supportive of the Honolulu Police Department, and they don't see it the way that other legal minds might see it, right? And so I would say on that aspect that the department would feel, the men and women of the department would feel that, hey, if you settle this case, then that means that we did something wrong. And that's not fair to them.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Members, and Councilmember Tupola.
Aloha, Chief. Thank you for being here. So consequently, then you're suggesting that they go to trial?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, members, at this time, are there any objections to convening into executive session? Councilmember Solba.
I just wanted to ask if my Chief of Staff, Marshal Tagovili, could be a part of the executive session. Thank you.
Likewise, Chair, could I ask if my Chief of Staff, Eric Kaman, will be with us as well?
And mine as well, Chair Ryan Kobayashi.
Without objection. Okay. Members, without objection, the committee convenes into a closed meeting pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statutes Section 92-4 and 92-5A4 to consult in a closed meeting with its attorneys on questions and issues pertaining to the powers, duties, privileges, immunities, and or liabilities of the city, the council, and its committees on the items listed on the agenda for executive session. The following persons will be participating in executive session. All council members present. From the Corporation Counsel, Dwayne Pang, William R. Awang, Maria C. Cook, Jason I. Baker, Daniel M. Gluck, Seichi Liu, Office of Council Services Staff Attorney, as well as Marcia Tagavilla, Eric Kamanu, and Ryan Kobayashi from council members Tolba, Okimoto, and Wire's offices, respectively. At this time, I'll call a recess.